tough.
All right. Speaking of the draft, which is 3 weeks from today.
Yep.
That's it. 3 weeks. And we will have full coverage for you of the Browns and just the NFL draft in general. Fernando Mendoza is expected to go first overall in that draft. After that, who knows? The Browns are picking 6, 24, and 37. Am I right about 37?
39.
39 with their first 3 picks. Today, the ESPN crew of Mel Kiper, Field Yates, Matt Miller, and Jordan Reid did a combined 3-round mock draft. Now, the other day we did a mock draft, I think it was just Matt Miller.
Yep.
And Mike lost his mind about this draft.
I did.
But I think you're going to be much happier with this one.
I am. And also worth noting, this mock draft
Yeah.
is not projections of what they think will happen. This is if they were the GM of each team, what they would do.
Right.
So it's not we're hearing rumors, we think this player slots
Sure.
This is if I was the general manager for the team on the clock,
right.
This is who I would draft.
Well, and
there is a
also,
distinction.
the guy, and we'll get to it in a second, but the guy that Field Yates picked for the 24 for the Browns, he says in the write-up that he doesn't think that guy's going to be there, but in their mock draft, he was. So let's take a look at what we got here. There's the top 6 picks in the draft. Again, each guy they rotated who made the pick. The 6th pick was done by Matt Miller, who in his own mock draft took Carnell Tate.
Which is why there's a distinction.
Right.
He says he likes Mekhi Lemon as his number 1 receiver,
but he thinks the Browns
would
so
take Carnell Tate.
So he took Mekhi Lemon. You know, I would rather have Carnell Tate, but honestly, part of that's just because of the fact that Ohio State receivers have all been good, which is kind of stupid to pick a guy that way.
USC receivers have turned out to be pretty good, too. It's not like it's USC versus Wyoming.
Whatever. I mean, he thinks Mekhi Lemon's the best wide receiver. I don't think any of us would have a problem if they took Mekhi Lemon at 6. Would you guys?
No.
Tyvus said if he was 2 inches taller, he'd be a no-brainer best receiver in this draft. So,
well, then I wouldn't stop me from taking him. There's some really good shorter wide receivers. You know?
So that was 1 through 6. We got 7 through 12.
And Jeremiah Love, go back for a second, Anthony, before you get to 7, 12.
Because Love's off the board there.
Yeah, because we had been talking, because Tyvus came in. Mike called it a crazy take. We disagreed. Jason, myself, and Tyvus all disagreed that it was a crazy take. That Tyvus said he would take Jeremiah Love at 6 if he's available, which in this mock draft he would not be. And I don't think he's going to be, but I don't know. Because he's a running back, the only reason there's a chance he's going to be there is because he's a running back
position. Yeah.
If he played a different position with what people think of his skill set.
Where did Word Raiders guy go?
Genty went 6.
Genty
went 6. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
He's considered a way better prospect. And Genty was considered a tremendous prospect.
Yeah.
And he's considered a way better prospect than Genty. I heard Greg Cosell say that the other day. He's like, well, this guy's much better than Genty.
He's Jeremiah.
He said he's Bijan
20
Robinson.
pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is really special.
And you want Quinshon Judkins to prevent you from taking that.
I was just saying the value of a running back in the top 5 for a team that's not very good doesn't make sense. And history proves that you don't win taking a running back.
No, that doesn't prove
Not
anything.
in the immediate following year, possibly. It depends on what's around you. If you're drafting high like that, chances are you're not going to win the next year.
And your cause and effect is flawed because you don't know.
We spent 20 minutes arguing this, and we have a bunch. We didn't get to the Browns' 2nd pick in the first round.
All right, now let's see the rest of the top 12, even though not Browns related. They have Buckeyes, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, and Carnell Tate going 7, 8, and 11.
That's crazy.
Okay, nothing. Yeah, there you go. Ruben Bain's been talked about a lot. He's a great pass rusher with short arms.
So now we got the Browns picks.
Now we'll get the rest. Now here's the rest of the Browns. So number 6 we already talked about. Number 24 is Caden Proctor, a massive offensive tackle prospect. I believe he's like 6'5", 350.
6'7", 370.
Jeez.
Is he 6'7", 370? That was his official.
I don't know what the combine weight was, but that's what he's listed
Now
at.
you worry because all the troubles we've had with DeJuan Jones. Who knows? But here it says 6'7", 365. Obviously, this guy is a freak of nature. Now, Field Yates made this pick for the Browns. He also said he doesn't expect him to get there.
I would tend to agree with that.
But if he does, I think we'd all be plenty happy with that pick.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I mean, we all want a wide receiver, in a perfect world, wide receiver, tackle, left tackle with your first 2 picks.
Yeah.
That would be it.
There's been a lot of smoke about the Browns being very high on Caden Proctor, by the way. And tomorrow I'm going to play you a soundbite from one of the premier draft experts who are hearing smoke about Caden Proctor in Cleveland.
Can you hear smoke?
Yeah. At number 6, though.
Right.
I think it's a very different
number 6?
Wait, we'll get. It's a little tease for tomorrow's show. It's coming up tomorrow, but there's a lot of Browns.
Why
6,
has he been
Caden
not
Proctor.
mentioned before with these other top tackles?
Because he ranges in how you view him significantly. Some people love the upside.
Yeah.
Tape's not great.
Oh, the tape's.
Some people think you got to
Do
go
we
off the
trust
tape.
the Browns to develop him?
That's another question.
Fair question.
Fair question.
All right, now in the second round, these guys doubled down on the offensive line. Emmanuel Pregnon, never heard of him. He's a guard out of Oregon.
All-American guard from Oregon. He was an All-American this year, two-time All-Big Ten because he was at USC beforehand. He started at Wyoming. He's got 52 starts in last year. If you want to go off PFF grades, they graded 686 guards in college football. He was their second highest rated guard in college.
I got zero problem with that.
I would have no problem with taking a guard.
Love it.
Because everyone says they fix their offensive line. We don't know that.
Yeah.
No. They have attempted to fix the offensive line.
Correct.
It will definitely be better.
On
Are
paper,
you sure?
It will probably be better.
It actually can't be worse.
I agree.
It actually, so yes,
Yeah.
based off that, it's better, but how much better? We have to see these guys actually play.
Chances are you don't fix things through free agency. Not
No,
long term.
maybe at 1 or 2 spots, but not at 5 spots.
Correct. So they still need to keep swinging on the offensive line.
And then in the third round, they have him going defense for the first time. Keith Abney from Arizona State. Is he a slot corner?
To be honest with you, I
Never heard of him?
I did one little read up on him.
98 tackles. Nice numbers.
Yeah,
Nice college numbers. I mean, you're averaging 1 pick less than every 6 games. Pretty good in college.
yeah. I'm not sure slot outside though, but
I have no
unlike the mock draft I freaked out about on Tuesday,
Yeah.
I would be very happy with this mock draft.
Yeah.
High upside swings. I don't like Proctor as much as some other people, but I totally understand why. We had Mike Renner from the now
PFF?
defunct PFF.
Yeah.
It's defunct?
They just laid
was
off their
sold.
whole staff. Yeah, they got sold.
Really?
But he was on, and he had
So what's going to replace PFF?
I don't know. But we had Renner on. He had Proctor as his #1 overall left tackle in this draft, and he said it wasn't close. He said, you can't teach those traits.
Yeah.
You can fix up the technique. You cannot teach those traits, that size, that athleticism. I don't know offensive line play well enough. I trust the guys who evaluate it more. And G. Bush says he's not a big fan of Proctor or some other guys, so who knows, but I totally see the upside. Mekhi Lemon, if the 2 inches thing is the difference in him being the #1 receiver versus #2, there's a lot of receivers who aren't 6'3", 6'4", that have had very successful careers, and his NFL comp is Amon-Ra St. Brown. You put Amon-Ra on this team, another
Browns coulda had
USC,
him.
another USC receiver who played a similar role at USC as he did, I'd be all in. And then the guard, if you're going to grade 686 and he's the second-rated guard and he's 6'5", 330 pounds, I know Zach Zinter was in that same situation coming out of Michigan, but I like the part that
Mekhi Lemon is kind of a one-year wonder, is he not?
No, he played.
I put up those stats again, Anthony, because he has 14 touchdowns in his career, at 11 this year.
He had 60 catches beforehand.
In his first 2 years, it looks like 3 years total. First 2 years, he had 60 catches combined for less than 1,000 yards. So he hadn't done much those first 2 years.
USC's a receiver factory, so he's playing behind some guys as an underclassman. But this was his breakout season.
I'm not saying it matters. I'm just saying, like, the career stats aren't much to write on.
We put up Carnell Tate's career stats. I'm curious if his look similar. He played.
Do we have Carnell Tate year and career also?
Yeah. Yep. So he's the same way.
Yeah, very similar. You're right.
So.
Yeah.
And he was a four-year guy versus
he played more.
Guy.
Yeah. Okay, they both had 1 big year.
Jason, what would you think of that mock draft? If that's how it pans out for the Browns, would you have any significant issues?
No, it addresses all their needs. I think the top couple of picks will most likely be on the offensive side, obviously. I still wouldn't rule out defense just because it's a weird draft. There's not a ton of great – if the elite guys – I'm all about elite. Give me the elite playmakers.
That's right.
But no matter what side of the ball they're on, this team has so many holes. You just need guys who can play football. But if it works out that way, that'd be great. I don't think Proctor's going to be there at the end of the first round, though.